Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 365. We did it, folks. Thank you for joining me on this last day for Bible in a Year. We are going to be finishing the second book of Chronicles by reading 2 Chronicles chapter 36. We are going to be finishing the book of Malachi by reading Malachi chapter 4. And then we are going to be finishing the book of John by reading John chapter 21, verses 15 through 25. I can't believe this day is here. Let's just get started in 2 Chronicles chapter 36. Here we go. Then the people of the land took Jehoahaz, the son of Josiah, and made him king in his father's place in Jerusalem. Jehoahaz was 23 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months in Jerusalem. The king of Egypt removed him from office at Jerusalem and fined the land 100 talents of silver and a talent of gold. The king of Egypt made Eliakim, his brother, king over Judah and Jerusalem, and changed his name to Jehoiakim. Necho took Joahaz, his brother, and carried him into Egypt. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He did that which was evil in Yahweh his God's sight. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up against him and bound him in fetters to carry him to Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar also carried some of the vessels of Yahweh's house to Babylon, and put them in his temple at Babylon. Now the rest of the acts of Jehoiakim, and his abominations which he did, and that which was found in him, behold, they are written in the book of the king of Israel and Judah, and Jehoiakim his son reigned in his place. Jehoiakim was 8 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 3 months and 10 days in Jerusalem. He did that which was evil in Yahweh's sight, and at the return of the year, King Nebuchadnezzar sent and brought him to Babylon with the valuable vessels of Yahweh's house, and made Zedekiah his brother king over Judah and Jerusalem. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem. He did that which was evil in Yahweh in God's sight. He did that which was evil in Yahweh his God's sight. He didn't humble himself before Jeremiah the prophet, speaking from Yahweh's mouth. He also rebelled against King Nebuchadnezzar, who made him swear by God, but he stiffed his neck and hardened his heart against turning to Yahweh, the God of Israel. Moreover, all the chiefs of the priests and the people trespassed very greatly after all the abominations of the nations, and they polluted Yahweh's house, which he made holy in Jerusalem. Yahweh, the God of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up early and sending, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place. But they mocked the messengers of God, despised his words, and scoffed at his prophets until Yahweh's wrath rose against his people until there was no remedy. Therefore he brought on them the king of the Chaldeans, who killed their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and had no compassion on young man or virgin, old man or infirm. He gave them all into his hand. All the vessels of God's house, great and small, and the treasures of Yahweh's house, and the treasures of the kings and of his princes, all these he brought to Babylon. They burned God's house, broke down the wall of Jerusalem, burned all its palaces with fire, and destroyed all its valuable vessels. He carried those who had escaped from the sword away to Babylon, and they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia, to fulfill Yahweh's word by Jeremiah's mouth, until the land had enjoyed its Sabbaths. As long as it lay desolate, it kept Sabbath, to fulfill 70 years. Now in the first year of Cyrus king of Persia, that Yahweh's word by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, Yahweh stirred up the spirit of Cyrus king of Persia, so that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Cyrus king of Persia says, Yahweh, the God of heaven, has given all the kingdom of the earth to me, and he has commanded me to build him a house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Whoever there is among you of all his people, Yahweh his God, be with him, and let him go up. And that finishes 2 Chronicles. Let's finish up Malachi by reading Malachi4. Look how short this one is, folks. How's that for a last day? Here we go. Malachi. For behold, the day comes, burning like a furnace, when all the proud and all who work wickedness will be stubble. The day that comes will burn them up, says Yahweh of armies, so that it will leave them neither root nor branch. But to you who fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in its wings. You will go out and leap like calves of the stall. You shall tread down the wicked, for they will be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I make, says Yahweh of armies. Remember the law of Moses, my servant, which I commanded to him in Horeb for all Israel, even statutes and ordinances. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the great and terrible day of Yahweh comes. He will turn the hearts of their fathers to the children and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the earth with a curse. Small but mighty. And look at this, folks. Okay, so since this is the last day, I can have a little fun, right? So you know that my Bible, the binding, has broken into 3 pieces, right? When you see me picking up different pages, it is the same Bible. It's just the binding broke. And here we go again. It's working on breaking into 4. Can you see that? It is trying. We don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, let's finish up the book of John by reading, okay, I lost my note. Here it is. No, it's not. We're reading John chapter 21, verses 15 to 25. Here we go. So when they had eaten their breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than these? And he said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I have affection for you. And he said to him, Feed my lambs. And he said to him again a second time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me? And he said to him, Yes, Lord, you know that I have affection for you. And he said to him, Tend my sheep. And he said to him a third time, Simon, son of Jonah, do you have affection for me? And Peter was grieved because he asked him a third time, Do you have affection for me? And he said to him, Lord, you know everything. You know that I have affection for you. And Jesus said to him, Feed my sheep. Most certainly I tell you, when you were young, you dressed yourself and walked where you wanted to. But when you are old, you will stretch out your hands, and another will dress you and carry you where you don't want to go." Now he said this, signifying by what kind of death he would glorify God. When he had said this, he said to him, "Follow me." Then Peter, turning around, saw a disciple following. This was the disciple whom Jesus loved, the one who had also leaned on Jesus' breast at the supper and asked, "Lord, who is going to betray you?" And Peter, seeing him, said to Jesus, "Lord, what about this man?" And Jesus said to him, "If I desire that he stay until I come, what is it that to you? You follow me." This saying therefore went out among the brothers, that this disciple wouldn't die. Yet Jesus didn't say to him that he wouldn't die, but, "If I desire that he stay until I come, what is that to you?" This is the disciple who testifies about these things and wrote these things. We know that his witness is true. There are also many other things which Jesus did, which if they would all be written, I suppose that even the world itself wouldn't have room for the books that would have been written. And that is the end. In verse 23, where he says, "This saying therefore went out among the brothers," the word for brothers here may also correctly be translated into brothers and sisters or siblings. Let's not forget the girls that followed him. And that completes our Bible in a year. What I love about the end, the very, very end of this whole message, is Jesus saying, "If I desire that he stay until I come, what is that to you?" And that is my message. Always ask yourself, what is that to me? The things that go on around you, the troubles that we have, the troubles that we see, what is it to me? What is it to me if someone is doing something I don't appreciate? What is it to me if someone is doing something that I consider morally wrong? What is it to me that, somebody is arguing with a neighbor over something trivial? I'm not saying to remove ourselves from things that matter, but let's pay attention to what matters. What matters is our relationship with God. If our relationship with God is strong, if it is current, if it's a daily relationship where we're talking with him, thinking about him, praising him, asking him for help, leaning on him, if it is that kind of relationship, everything else is going to fall into place. You are not going to be concerned about the other things. I promise you. So, wow, folks, I can't believe this is it, and I can't believe I'm saying goodbye. This is going to be a part 1. I will put up a part 2 out there for people who want to hear about the direction of this channel and, a little bit behind the scenes information. Fred is still asleep right now, so I will film that when he's awake, and I'm going to see if he'll join me on my shoulder for one last hurrah. Have the most wonderful day. Happy New Year. Make it a good 2024. All right? Love each other. Hug each other. Kiss each other passionately. It might be annoying to the other person, but they will remember that they are loved. All right. Bye, everybody.